All right, so in this video, we're going to be talking about how to argue effectively. When we talk about communication, when we talk about interactions, when we talk about building a network and building rapport, usually arguments are a no-go. Because if you argue with somebody, you're bound to leave a negative residue that can affect the relationship. So at the same time, you can't really help. Sometimes we're going to get into arguments. We're going to get into argumentative scenes where we have to argue. We have to give our opinion. We have to hear an opinion that we might not agree with. And then from that, we have to draw a conclusion. We have to get somewhere. But how can we argue effectively without affecting the relationship? And basically how to do it properly to get a positive outcome out of it, okay? Now, it's a very simple method, okay, that every single person can use. You need some repetition, but then before you know it, when you use this method properly, you can not just win any argument you want to win, but second, the argument, when you do win it, it's not going to leave a negative residue, okay? And it all starts with, you don't want to say to the other person, no, you're wrong. People hate hearing that. When you say to somebody, you know what, you're wrong, that's not true. They feel like their ego takes a hit. They're like, I'm not wrong, I know that I'm right. Most people don't have the humility to say, you know what, maybe I'm wrong. But that needs to be you. If you want to be a really good communicator, you need to develop the level of humility where when somebody says something, they say, I think you're wrong about this. You need to have the humility to accept it because people will also appreciate it. At the same time, you don't want to say that to somebody, okay? You don't want to say to somebody, you know what, you're wrong. No. Say to yourself. Say something about yourself. And this is another method also by Dale Carnegie. So what you do is basically you say to the other person, say we're arguing about whether Biden or Trump should have won the presidential elections, okay? And I say, you know what? I might be wrong. Honestly, most of the times I am. But don't you think that if Trump won the elections, things might have turned out to be a bit worse than they currently are? What happened here? When I first said, you know what? I might be wrong. You're saying to the other person, so look, I'm saying something, but I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying that I might be wrong, personally. But let's think about it, okay? And then you ask a question. You say, but don't you think that he wouldn't have done the best job in this area? And then they agree, which brings us to the other part of this method. Is that first, you want to bring their guard down by saying, hey, look, I might be wrong. I often usually am wrong. But what about this, and that? What do you think? And there's also a little thing there that a lot of people say you don't want to use the word but, okay? Because when you say but, it basically you're saying to the person, but everything I said before that word, you can just throw it out the window. That was just a formality on my side. You don't want that because you want it to seem genuine. Brings us to the second point, affirmations. So you're trying to win an argument, all right? First thing, you brought their guard down. People see that you're genuine, that you're honestly just trying to have a conversation there. And then you start with affirmations. You say, but don't you think that Trump had, just a lot of backlash and a lot of negative publicity going around that might affect his presidential candidacy? And the person says, yeah, he had some flaws here and there. And then you ask another question. You got the first affirmation. You ask another question. You say, and don't you think Joe Biden has better public relations and it's at least more positive, can have a better impact on the country? And the person says, yeah, there are some things that he did better. And then you got the second affirmation. And then you ask a third question to get the third affirmation. So don't you think that in certain areas, Biden will do better than Trump, or that Trump will do better than Biden? And then the person answers, yeah, you know what, I think in some areas, he probably would do better. It's like, exactly. What happened here? What happened here is that first you brought the guard down. Second, you started getting affirmations. First affirmation, second affirmation, third affirmation. And now that you got 3 affirmations out of them, most likely the fourth question that you're going to ask or the first argument you're going to present, their answer is going to be also affirmative. They're going to agree with you. Since they've been agreeing, you kind of established an anchor of affirmation there, and they're going to keep following that. Okay? So this is a very simple way for you to not go in an argument, but make the best out of an argument. Because at the end of the day, we are bound to get into arguments with people. We want to make sure that we get the message through without offending the other person and without leaving a negative residue and ruining the relationship. The contrary, we want to make sure that we do get the message through and that this argument, that's not really an argument, makes the relationship even better rather than make it worse, okay? This is it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and let's hop on to the next one.